Now, check this clip out that somebody put on Instagram.
Learning there is a Fox News in London.
Stop for fasten seatbelt sign.
Wow, someone hates this channel so much, someone who no doubt has never watched a second of what we do here, that they travelled across the ocean to throw an egg. I mean, it's so misguided and stupid, but it's also very telling as to how some people view public discourse nowadays. If you don't like what someone's saying, throw an egg. Now, for most of us, tomorrow entails one of the trickiest to navigate quagmires of the calendar year, the family Christmas dinner. Forget not mentioning the drama when Auntie Sue didn't buy presents for your brother's stepkids, or when your mother-in-law drank on medication and groped you during the washing up. I'm over it. Nowadays, more and more it seems that the old adage applies. You should never discuss religion and politics in polite society. Now, firstly, I'm sure Jesus wouldn't mind getting a mention on his birthday, Mazel Tov. But the point is, family is not polite society. Just look at the animals my lot turn into when the roast potatoes emerge. Still, a few years ago, in the aftermath of the 2019 general election, my sister put out a message on the family WhatsApp group that she was banning any mention of politics at the Christmas lunch she was hosting that year. Now, to which I informed her the turkey wasn't the only thing that could get stuffed. My wife and I were still emotionally bruised from fighting Corbynites and their supporters, some who turned out to be friends and neighbours, and even a few family. In the wake of losing work and my place amongst the community of the good, culminating in violent threats made against me, I vowed to never ever again let anyone ever shut me down. And now, here were my loved ones trying to do precisely that. In the end, we all had a family powwow on Zoom. Everyone got to calmly-ish explain their positions. A few tears were shed, misunderstandings were sorted, compromises made. Christmas dinner ended up being delicious and we had a great visit until my dad and I both got a bit drunk and started screaming at each other because he insisted on using inappropriate language in front of my kids, which ironically resulted in me using much worse language. The point is, I think it's not being able to talk about politics nowadays, even with your family, especially with your family, that is partly responsible for bringing us to this very toxic place in our society, where rather than listen, people throw eggs. Now, of course, there are others that'll say it's the chicken and the egg, that toxic politics is what got us here. Although, ironically, most of those people are unlikely to ever come on this channel, so we can talk it through. Now, I'm sure some of you will be around family members tomorrow who think that this channel's existence is wrong, even evil. Very nice people have come up to me in the street to say how much they love GB News and how much they appreciate its existence, but they have to keep it a secret that they watch us. And a few days ago, I had an old friend drunkenly admonishing me for even being on here and how disappointed he was in me. But I'll tell you what I told him with less swear words and slurring. Our bubbles, be they on social media or our friendship groups, are destroying us. That is why GB News exists. That is why it needs to exist. To pop the bubbles. Just like a family Christmas dinner can pop the bubble. There's a reason why the higher-ups here make a big deal about the people who work at GB News and you, our audience, all being a family. It's the reason why the channel won Most Loved Media Brand of the Year. What we're not trying to do is create just another bubble. We're not Fox News. Instead, we're creating a family, because with family, you talk and you listen. Family means that you don't have to agree about everything or even anything, but still you can say your piece and still you can be heard. Now, when I'm in the office back there before the show, the channel plays in the background, or when I'm driving with GB News on the radio, there are loads of opinions that make me shake or even slap my head in incredulousness. Sometimes I talk back to the empty air. And I bet I have elicited the same exasperated reaction over the last 2 years from many of you. And I'm not under any illusions that the majority of you will probably vote differently in the upcoming election, and that's fine. Yes, I still would have voted Remain. I'm still not a Trump supporter. I still think that net zero is needed. I still think immigration is necessary. But also, I have listened to those I wouldn't have been able to before. I understand the factors better for Brexit and agree with the necessity to solve them, if not the solution. I understand the dangers of the largest democracy in the world behaving in a non-democratic manner. I understand the route to net zero should be more flexible and transparent. And I think we need to control our borders to ensure our values are compatible with those who would join us and to not have our generosity exploited. The channel's critics argue that we stoke divisiveness. I'd argue it's the exact opposite. The real danger is when people don't feel heard, when we wail against the walls of our bubbles and only hear back echoes. If all you ever do is preach to the converted, you convert no one. We have to pop our bubbles. Then maybe we can find consensus, compromise and common ground. We need to have this space to be able to talk and to listen, like we have with our family.